first question will be Irish football from Warchant.
Hey, Janarius, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about you, sir?
I'm good. Coach Norvell talked a lot about the event you guys had yesterday evening. What was it about? From seeing on social media, you and several other players talked about how special it was. What did you get out of it as a team and individually, you think?
I feel like our team got a lot of it last night. Just going out, getting away from football, learning each other and learning our teammates outside of football and learning each individual person's story. And that was one of the most phenomenal things that I took away from last night was just, the team bonding, but also just learning each person's story that I'm on the field with, fighting with every day. And ultimately, I think that make us grow as a team, and that brotherhood that we talk about in Clown. That's something big that we got done last night, was just learning each other and just seeing what each other has been through.
Hey, Janarius, was there what was the highlight of that event yesterday? And was there a funny story or something that happened that maybe you could share with us?
I don't want to get too deep into each individual story that my teammates told, but like I said, one of the most phenomenal things that I took away from last night was just sitting around a campfire with my brothers, my segment group, which is D-line, with our two coaches, Coach Odell and Coach JP. Just like I said, hearing everybody's story, and you never know what your teammate or someone that's next to you is going through. Some people might smile to get through it, and ultimately, some of our brothers that was sitting in the room with me, their days be easier just by coming around us, and I found that out last night.
Pat, if you want to jump back in, I know you're muted. So something you talked about, the fact that, you got away from football, like you didn't have to consider it. I mean, these last, you've been here for a while, you've gone through a lot in your time. How was it just to kind of take a breather and just kind of reset that mind and focus on yourself?
I've been here going on, this is my 5th year, and I think we maybe did something like that once as a team. Like I said, this is something new that we haven't really done, and like I said, to hear everybody's story, it was something new that, some people felt like a weight was lifted off their shoulders, just being able to talk to their brothers about something that they don't open up. Some people said they never told nobody else but their close family, like their mom, stories like this. And for them to sit there and feel comfortable enough around their brothers to tell us, it really means a lot and shows how close this team has really gotten.
Can you hear me? Okay. Hey, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Hey, just a quick question. Obviously, you guys have gone back to a 4-3 defense. Are you excited about being back in an even front, and how does that best suit your skill set?
I'm very excited to be back down four-man front with my brothers on the defensive line. I think that me and Kendo have the versatility to stand up and also be down. But last year, we was up most of the time. Just getting back to something that we've been doing a while, and we're just happy to be back in something that I'm very comfortable doing.
Hey, you talked about, I guess, the importance of kind of establishing those connections, sharing your stories, things like that away from football. I guess kind of with that, how can that translate to football? If you have that deeper bond, if you know who they are more as a person away from football, I guess how can that translate?
Like I said, the being brotherhood, having your brother back. When we out there on that field, I feel like personally, if you know each other's story and know what someone has been through, that just only makes you tighter. And having your brother back on that field, and I feel like it'll translate over to just having each other back and just fight for one another out there, trying to win games.
Janarius, we heard Coach Norvell use the word empathy to discuss last night why it was important. That's not a word you usually hear in football, but I mean, just the fact that this is another part of the change that you've undergone in 5 years at Florida State, and there's a guy in front of you that wants to get to know who you are that outside of football. I mean, outside the whole football aspect, just how comforting is that as a young man to have somebody like that in your corner?
It's very comforting just knowing that someone looks at you more than just, you feel they actually care about you as a human being, as a person, want to know your personal story so they can learn you better, know how to approach you, know the things you've been through, so they can know how you react and why you reacting like this, like knowing how to communicate with you.
Janarius, obviously you and Josh are the leaders, you're the veterans of that end unit, but a lot of young guys behind you. Who are some guys that are jumping out to some of the young guys that are impressive? Is there anybody you've kind of taken under your wing to try to bring along?
Some guys that's in that defensive room that we try to that's making big strides from when they first got here. Krayshawn Fuller and Derek McGlinnan, those guys are trying to. Me and Kendall are trying to take those guys on our wings and show them the right way to go. We're still learning, so we learn together and try to get everybody on one court.
Go back to Pat from the outfield.
Janarius, can you hear me this time?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sweet. All right. Hey, Coach has mentioned several times about some of the young offensive linemen being impressive in camp, Thomas Schrader and Robert Scott. Who else in that group has stood out to you so far in practice?
The transfer from FIU, he's really standing out to me. He's doing some phenomenal things. Give us good competition at practice.
Janarius, is your role in the defense to like set the edge at the end, or are you going to be a pass rusher? Do you think more along the lines of that?
Like I said, my role is very versatile. Me and Kendall, we have a position that's called Fox, where you do some dropping on fire zone and stuff. So I might be dropping in coverage, or I might be rushing. Like I said, most of it is based off of 4 down, and I'm just happy to be back on the field with my brothers and being able to get back to what I love.
All right, thank you. Sorry, one more. Last one will be Ira from Warchant.
All right.
Sorry, I snuck in the buzzer. Hey, Coach Norvell's talked a lot about the need for intensity every day, not just one day or 4 days a week or 5 days a week. Have you started to see some development in that area from the team?
Of course. This team has grown tremendously with just coming out there with juice and, trying to get the ball rolling. When you have that juice, some people might feel down, and, when your brother is intense and, hyped, that can bring someone else along. And I feel like that's how we were growing as a team like that, just, leaning on one another to get that fire and that juice. And ultimately, we get it from our head coach, Coach Mike Norvell. He's very energetic, and, he fires that, spark in you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next player, probably the last one for today, is Brady Scott.